Today we are interviewing Mitch Wainer, the co-founder and head of marketing at DigitalOcean, which is one of the largest cloud hosting platforms in the world. It's a pleasure to be interviewing you today. My name is Suresh Jasti. I'm a sophomore at Homedale High School. I'm the founder of CompanyRoots, and my interests are eating exotic foods, tennis, and gaming. This is my partner, Rahul Kavuru.
My name is Rahul Kavuru. I'm the vice president of CompanyRoots. I'm an 8th grader at Oak Hill Academy, and my interests are tennis, watching Shark Tank, and playing chess. So before the interview, we just want to thank you for taking your time.
Thank you.
The first question we always ask is, what were your CompanyRoots, and how did they help you get into DigitalOcean?
So my company roots, from a personal perspective, I'm obviously one of the co-founders of DigitalOcean, and so it was really my passion. I think passion is the underlying foundation for any root of anything. Yeah. It's ultimately what drives you. It's what motivates you to solve a problem in the industry. And as a web developer myself, since the age of 13, wow. I learned a lot about web hosting and cloud hosting, and so I knew it myself as a web developer, sort of the pain points in the market, and one of those pain points was the fact that there was no easy way to deploy a server online to deploy your application, and that was sort of the idea behind DigitalOcean originally. And so we built simplicity. We built DigitalOcean with simplicity at the forefront of the company, and so I really, as a web developer, I saw the immediate value right off the bat, and I was able to, as the head of marketing, I was able to craft the story and distill the message, which was a major challenge because it is a very complex product. It's a very complex technology, and so and I knew that if we were able to simplify the platform, simplify the way we message to our audience, that a lot of people would find it very valuable.
Yeah. So what person or group of people influenced you the most in your when you co-founded DigitalOcean, and what were their effects on your journey?
So we went through Techstars in 2012, and we met a lot of great mentors and entrepreneurs and VCs to help guide us and to help us see through some challenges, and they helped us see around some corners, and so Nicole Glaros, who was the managing director at Techstars, definitely pushed us and helped focus us in many ways to set goals on a weekly basis, because Techstars is only a 3-month program, and so you're iterating and you're accelerating for those 3 months, and it requires an immense amount of focus to build your product and to achieve your goals. And so she was very direct with us, gave us very direct feedback the whole way through, and so she was a great influence in our journey, in my personal journey as well. And then along the way we brought on board several investors, IA Ventures and Andreessen Horowitz, who helped us think through challenges and to coach us in many areas of building the business operations. Yeah. We've also brought on some great leaders internally to help mature the operations of the business. Mm-hmm. And Carl Alomar, who's our COO, and several others have really helped mentor and guide us as co-founders and entrepreneurs as we built the business from the ground up.
Yep.
So before you started DigitalOcean, how did you fund it, and what was the process of gaining capital to expand like?
So it was very difficult initially to raise funding. It took us 8 months from start to finish to raise our first round, and the reality was the fact that no investor really understood how we were going to differentiate and stand in the market when it was very saturated. There's a lot of hosting companies. Then you have major players like Amazon and Microsoft.
Yeah.
And so for investors, they were very skeptical of, and it was hard to believe that we would be able to break through. But we stuck to our gut and our intuition, and we offered a product at a fantastic price to performance value that really basically enabled us to start acquiring, and it enabled us to find product market fit, and that traction and that growth eventually paired with the story that we've been telling investors. And once we had the growth numbers to back up the vision, then we were able to raise our first round of funding. But we met with multiple VCs, and we've heard we heard several no's. Let's call it 20 plus, 30 plus no's.
Wow.
And that's probably on the low end. So my advice is to persevere and to push through, and to not give up. And especially when you believe in something, you want to make sure that you're always iterating and improving your product to find that product market fit. And then once you do, you just keep doubling down on what's working, and you keep pushing forward. There's a lot of people out there that will try to hold you back ultimately, and you just got to believe in yourself as an entrepreneur and as a founder. That's the toughest challenge. That's always the toughest hurdle to jump when building a company, because it's so easy to give up. We could have easily pivoted, or we could have easily gave up on the company early on. We actually even at one point thought of pivoting the business.
Wow.
And we fortunately we didn't. But there was a point where we were considering it, because it's a frustrating process when you hear no and over again.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important. You have to believe, and you have to really test, learn, iterate, and improve what you're building, and to not give up. And if you believe in your vision, you'll get there.
Yeah. And I mean, your vision persevered, because now you're the third largest cloud hosting platform in the world. So it sucks for those investors that said no.
It's you can't bat 1,000 as an investor, right?
Yeah.
So you got to place your best bets as an investor. So and everyone has their own philosophy, investment philosophy, and guidelines. So we even heard like some investors don't invest in companies that compete directly with Amazon as a general rule.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're a formidable opponent in the market.
Yeah, I mean, they're huge. Well, on that topic, how did you survive in the market with companies like Amazon and Microsoft? How do you really stand out from the crowd, and where do you stand when you compare yourself with the other competitors?
So the way we've always differentiated DigitalOcean against some of these larger players like Amazon and Microsoft is, we're very much focused on the end user experience and building for the needs of the developer versus the needs of the enterprise. And that is what Amazon and Microsoft are focused on. They're focusing on, the Fortune 500. And we're focused on, supporting startups and small businesses to easily get started and to easily manage and scale their applications. And we're building the most intuitive cloud platform out there to help these smaller companies compete, and to enable these developers to spend more time building their businesses And so, that's why we invest a lot of time and effort building a very elegant API and user interface to manage your infrastructure.
Yeah. Yeah. So to a lot of people in the world, not a lot of people know what cloud is. So how does DigitalOcean inform someone who never came upon the industry?
So cloud is definitely a fun buzzword.
Yeah.
It's everyone wants to use the word cloud, describe something. So, the word cloud is just another term for internet in a way, right? Like it's basically, it's on demand in terms of accessibility.
Yeah.
You have there's different components of cloud. There's the compute component. There's the storage component. There's a networking component. And so obviously DigitalOcean is building products and features in each one of those buckets.
Yeah.
But cloud is just a way for you to access data on demand anywhere in the world, whether that be a website, an app, a file. That's my layman's definition for cloud. Everyone has their own, but it's just it's a buzzword for in other words, for saying like internet of things. So it's it's funny how people always want to know what does cloud mean.
Yeah. I mean, it seems sophisticated when you say like, I work at a company that deals with cloud components and providing softwares and backups to startups around the world. So it seems like a really big title, but it's just it's the basis of everything we use on internet.
Exactly.
So what kind of services do most of your customers buy, and why do they?
So the majority of customers deploy a droplet, which is our branded branded product for a virtual machine. And basically a virtual machine is fundamentally what you need to deploy your application. It has CPU, it has local disk, memory, bandwidth, as well. And so you have like all kind of like key components of your underlying infrastructure layer to power, a web application, a web-based application. So that is by far the most popular product on DigitalOcean. And then we have additional storage products and features to expand your storage environment and scale your storage environment. So we have Spaces, which is our object storage product, which is an independent storage offering that is similar to Amazon's S3 object storage, and it's simple and easy. Has a drag and drop UI that anyone can use. And then we have block storage, which can attach to your droplet to add more storage. So those are some of the most popular products and services on our platform.
So on your site, it said that the most common storage is bought on droplets is either 2 gigabytes or 4 gigabytes. Is there any reason that that's the main thing the customer buys in terms of storage?
Yeah, I mean it's basically it's a very common droplet that's used. It's the most popular droplet used in each one of those buckets to power the the majority of applications that people need. So that's why we've highlighted it.
So DigitalOcean has gotten in touch with some huge companies like Tesla, for example. What one piece of advice allowed you to achieve successful relations with these companies?
It's funny. It's because DigitalOcean is self-serve and on demand. It doesn't require you to speak to any sales person to get set up. So that's the beauty of the business model that we created. And DigitalOcean acquired. We have multiple prominent companies using DigitalOcean because these teams inside of these big organizations were able to use their credit card and sign up themselves. So interesting insight is that DigitalOcean does not have a sales team today.
Wow. And you're that big, so that's really surprising.
And when you build a great product that people love to use, you're going to grow fairly quickly via word of mouth, right? And so we've seen a ton of organic traction and growth from developers just spreading the word about DigitalOcean, and then these developers who work at companies end up adopting DigitalOcean for their needs. And so that's
sorry.
Yep, go ahead.
Now that you're gotten in touch with Tesla and several other big companies, and you look back, did you see yourself coming to the stage in just 7 years?
Honestly, we did not, foresee this, exponential growth. We, thought we would build a cloud platform that would be used by, tens of thousands of developers around the world. But now we're over 1 million today. So it's pretty impressive considering the global developer market size, which is around 20 to 25 million. So, we already have some good saturation. Obviously, there's more room to grow, but the fact that we've been able to get there in that time frame is really it feels very surreal.
Yeah.
To answer the question,
So,
and it's not.
I'll go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say it's not what any of us really expected. It's definitely been a very surreal, out-of-body experience.
What type of influences allowed you to advertise and market your mission and services to your consumers and to people around the world? Because I know you went international recently. You're starting things in Amsterdam, India. We both have went to Bangalore before. So how did you get your thing out to the world?
So we have roughly, about 65%, 67%, somewhere in that neighborhood of our total customers are international.
Wow. That's
so the majority are international, and we saw a lot of traction and growth in emerging markets such as India, also in countries in Europe, as well as Southeast Asia. And so, that was part of our data center strategy. And it was also, from listening to the customer, and because we had such a widespread global presence, a lot of our customers were requesting to have a nearby data center to lower their latency.
Yeah.
Do you travel internationally often?
I try to once a year at least. We have a local team in India, and we host a bunch of events there. We actually have a mini conference there called Tide. So we are definitely. I'm personally looking forward to traveling to India this year. Would love to get there to meet our customers and the developer community. So that's on the roadmap. For myself, and I've been to Germany before, and Berlin when we opened up our Frankfurt location. So it's about once a year. That some of us travel, and a bunch of other employees do travel internationally. So, and also to add to that, we have a global meetup program that has close to 40,000 meetup members, if not more now. And we have meetup organizers in 40 plus cities around the world. So people are hosting their own DigitalOcean events in various cities, and kind of sharing best practices of open source and cloud infrastructure. So it's great to see those events happen without our active participation.
Yeah. So as the head of marketing, what activities are part of your job on a day-to-day or year-to-year basis?
Yeah, so my activities today really revolve around the brand. So it's building out our brand campaigns, building out our new website. So we just launched a new website a couple weeks ago. That took 6-7 months.
Wow, that's a lot.
Finished to plan and to design and to develop. So it took a lot of time, and we're very happy with the end result. It's a very beautiful, elegant site that I think matures the brand a little bit, which is good for us, because I think we need to share the fact that we are a business solution. There are 150,000 plus businesses using us today. Yeah. And a lot of developers around the world don't recognize the fact that we are used by so many businesses. And so we're just trying to, share the story and also highlight the customers on DigitalOcean and have them tell the story for us to, just create a little bit more validation for us in market. And that's super important. So the website is something that my team has been focused on building and executing on. So those are some key initiatives that my team is responsible for, and ultimately, I want to ensure that DigitalOcean is known by every single developer in the world. Yeah, and that's the end goal.
Actually, my dad works in the IoT sector. He used to work for Dell, and now he went to NTT. So when I told him I got an interview with the co-founder of DigitalOcean, he was amazed. He's like, "What? No way. No way. Show me the email." And he got so psyched over it, because he's like, he tried to teach me a week's worth of IoT material in an hour, and I'm just like, nah.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Your dad must be so proud of you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, both you guys are super young, and you have your whole life ahead of you, and you're hustling. You're reaching out to all these entrepreneurs that have built these businesses, and so I give you guys a lot of credit. I think what you've done already is super, super impressive. So I would say keep doing what you're doing, and stay focused and keep learning. I mean, that's what life's all about. It's about learning every single day, and there's no better way to learn than to interview some of the the brightest minds out there, and to learn from the people that have been there, done that. And so, I mean, that's how I learned. I learned from, working with people that have years of experience underneath their belts, that have excelled in specific areas of business. So I give you guys a lot of credit.
Thank you.
So since since you got DigitalOcean to such a big stage in just 7 years, and you're a true entrepreneur, how did you learn your entrepreneurship skills, and what age did you get exposed to this world?
Yeah. So since I was 5 years old, actually.
Wow.
I've been trying to make money in some capacity. So the first business was my four-leaf clover business. My grandma used to pick four-leaf clovers on her sister's farm, and then laminate them for me. And then also include sort of the date of when she picked the four-leaf clover, and then I would take the laminated four-leaf clovers and I would sell them at school for $5 each, and so my grandma was my supplier, my wholesale supplier. So I should have I don't think I paid her anything, so she was working for free. So yeah. I'm glad she didn't sue me for any minimum wage.
You took charge of the superstition of having something as good luck, and then you just sold it. That's a true businessman.
Exactly. So that was my first business, and then as I got older, when I was 13 years old, I started learning about eBay. This little online auction site, and started to sell my collectibles and my baseball cards, basketball cards, comic books, my sister's Beanie Babies, anything that I could really get my hands on. And then met a friend at high school, and he taught me about kind of wholesaling and buying electronics for a lower price point when you purchase them in bulk, and then flipping them on eBay for profit. And learned a lot about Photoshop and HTML through that experience. And then I got involved in building websites and started building my own online businesses and SaaS companies, quote unquote, when I was 18, 19, and sold a couple of those companies when I was in college, and basically taught myself everything. Entrepreneurship is it's in your DNA. I don't think it can be really taught. I think you have to kind of live it, breathe it, and love it, because it's not easy. It takes a lot of patience for sure, and you just got to keep at. I never really, I failed many times over at building companies throughout the years growing up, and I learned a lot each time I failed. So, and then you basically take what you learned from failing and you apply it to the next thing that you're building, and you rinse and repeat. So, I had a few small exits, but it wasn't until I built DigitalOcean till I really created anything substantial, right? So, it's been a fun journey for sure, being an entrepreneur, but it requires a lot of patience.
Yeah. I remember last year during the fidget spinner craze, I got my hands on 4 or 5 through my friend, and then I showed people that in Spanish class. I'm like, look at this, it can spin if you touch it. And then I sold them. I bought them for $5 maybe, and I sold 3 of them for $20, and I made a $50 profit. So that was my first intro to entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So there you go. And it feels. Sorry, go ahead.
You can continue.
I was just saying that's that feeling, right? When you take something and you buy it and you for more, it's there's no better feeling. That's what an entrepreneur is all about. It's just being able to create value out of something, right? And that's what I love as an entrepreneur. I'm a builder. I'm a creator at heart. I love taking an idea and executing to bring it to reality. Mm-hmm. That's what I love.
Yeah, one of my friends actually sells Pokemon cards, and he makes a huge profit on eBay. So I'm thinking of getting into that industry myself.
Pokemon card industry.
Absolutely should. I mean, do it honestly. Take advantage of the internet today. You have access. You have access to so much more than I did growing up. Yeah. And you want to use that to your advantage. There's so many apps to sell things nowadays. Beyond just Craigslist and eBay. Yeah. So I think I would recommend that you expose yourself to as much entrepreneurial opportunities as possible. Yeah. For sure.
Imagine Rahul and I were starting a business right now. What would you say that we should do to become the next big thing, as we see on Shark Tank and stuff?
The $1 billion question. I don't think I have a great answer for you, to be honest. I think if I was in your shoes and you were me, I would tell myself that the right answer is what you're ultimately passionate about. What are you guys ultimately the most passionate about? Is it running a blog and interviewing co-founders and entrepreneurs? Is it building a product? Is it selling products, consumer products? What you kind of have to explore a bunch of different things, but ultimately it's what you're the most passionate about.
Yeah. So our end question is always, what advice would you give to the next generation of entrepreneurs and leaders looking to further pursue their passions in high school and, in Rahul's case, middle school?
Yeah, I would say roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty. Don't wait for people to teach you things. Okay. Your teachers may not like me saying this, but I'm not a big believer in the school system. I actually believe entrepreneurship can't really be taught. Yeah. And the best way to learn is to actually go out and do it yourself. And you learn by doing. I'm a big believer in that philosophy and that thinking. So, my advice is, teach yourself how to code, teach yourself how to build a website, teach yourself, eBay, teach yourself, teach yourself how to build a robot, teach yourself how to, fly a drone, teach yourself Alexa and Google Home, and then pay for and basically charge parents and homeowners to set up Google Home in their and set up all the apps for them, and basically do the whole kind of home setup configuration for people, and that's a huge business, I think.
Yeah.
So there's so many different ideas that you could kind of break into and make money. But I think the key piece of advice here is just go do it and embrace failing, embrace learning, and and that's the best way. That's the best way you're going to learn. It's just to go out and execute and just roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty. So.
Definitely.